The woman who sold the Medical Mirage, Elizabeth Holmes, Theranos Deceit. In the heart of Silicon Valley, where dreams are assembled in garages and billions seem just a brainwave away, one woman made a promise so audacious, it seemed too good to be true. Meet Elizabeth Holmes, a Stanford dropout at 19 who became the darling of the tech world, pledged to transform healthcare with just a drop of blood. Forget the needles, forget the waiting rooms, and certainly, forget the medical bills. It's the story of how one woman sold the world a medical mirage, a fantasy cloaked in a black turtleneck. Our tale begins with the birth of Theranos, the brainchild of Holmes. Picture it, 2003, a time when the world's biggest tech innovators were still just flirting with the edges of our imaginations. It was in this hotbed of innovation that Holmes found Theranos, a health technology corporation that aimed to revolutionize the world. The goal, as simple as it was ambitious, from a tiny pinprick to comprehensive and precise diagnoses from this single drop of blood that would replace the vials of traditional take-it. The hope, to democratize healthcare, making blood tests less expensive, less invasive, and more accessible to all. The appeal of such a promise is undeniable. Imagine an aging grandfather no longer needing to endure repeated painful pricks for his diabetes, or a new mother, wary of the trauma a needle could inflict on her newborn, finding comfort in a simple pinprick. A future of painless, routine screening. These were among countless others, perhaps millions, all hanging on a single drop of blood. Silicon Valley was a gold mine of innovation, and every young entrepreneur was just one idea away from being the next Zuckerberg or Jobs. But Elizabeth, with her deep gaze and compelling storytelling, she wasn't just joining the league, she was creating her own. Touted by media as the next Steve Jobs, Time magazine even included her in their most influential list. She was on top of the world. She had that rare aura that convinced even the skeptics. And she wore that iconic black turtleneck. However, in the mesmerizing world of technological marvels, all isn't as it seems. Medical tests aren't Instagram posts. You can't apply a filter and hope for the best. So, when Elizabeth and her dreamy-eyed team at Theranos proposed a device that could perform hundreds of tests with a prick of a finger, many raised eyebrows, while others opened their checkbooks. The latter included some of the most influential investors of the time, because who wouldn't want to be part of the next big thing? Holmes appeared like a magician with her proverbial hat, presenting a rabbit named Edison. No, not the famed inventor. It was the Edison machine, a pretty little box. The jewel of Theranos' revolutionary device claiming to unravel medical mysteries with barely a drop of blood. This little box promised the moon and stars, delivering comprehensive test results with just a tiny prick. Holmes's vision was intoxicating. The public gobbled up every press release, every endorsement, and endorsements there were aplenty. "It's the future," exclaimed the media. At the peak of its game, Theranos achieved a fantastical valuation of $9 billion. Major corporations, including the pharmacy behemoth Walgreens, flocked to ink partnerships. Investors couldn't throw their money fast enough at the medical prodigy of the century. What was the magic sauce, you ask? Secrecy, an age-old ingredient in the recipe of too good to be true. Only a select few were allowed to peek behind the curtain, and those who did were bound by NDAs that could make even a canary forget its song. But hey, when you're possibly sitting on the biggest medical innovation in decades, who needs transparency? And in the world of medical diagnostics, the big players were taking days to deliver results. But Theranos, hours. The pricing. It was like comparing a fancy 5-course dinner in Manhattan to a $1 menu at a fast food joint. Such disparities, combined with Holmes's impassioned pitch, made for an intoxicating cocktail of anticipation and trust. However, those with discerning eyes began to squint, wondering if the shimmer they saw was genuine gold or just cleverly applied glitter. For Theranos, the first thread was pulled by John Carreyrou, a journalist for the Wall Street Journal. Our detective with a press badge found himself intrigued by the whispers of discrepancies in Theranos' test results. His suspicions led him to contact former employees, medical experts, and patients. What emerged was a mosaic of mistrust, discontent, and doubts. The artfully crafted portrait of Theranos began to show its true colors. Adding fuel to the fire, the revelation was damning. Allegations that the small number of tests done on the Edison machines were inaccurate. Many tests weren't run on the much-acclaimed Edison machines, but on traditional machines bought from other companies. The revolutionary technology that was to disrupt the entire medical diagnostics industry, it appeared, was less a revolution and more a rebranding exercise. The scandal was like a pebble thrown into a still pond, the ripples reaching even the regulatory bodies. The Food and Drug Administration (FDA) and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, among others, turned their gaze towards Theranos. The light of scrutiny shone bright, and what it revealed was not flattering. The investigations unveiled a circus of irregularities, from unqualified personnel to the mishandling of samples. For a company that promised to revolutionize healthcare, they seemed quite comfortable flouting basic rules of medical practice. On a legal front, it was a veritable buffet of lawsuits and federal charges. Holmes, once the darling of Silicon Valley, was now a pariah. The legal gears began to turn. Prosecutors started building a case, presenting evidence that showed Theranos had knowingly misled investors, doctors, and patients. This wasn't just a small white lie. The deception involved a whopping $700 million. Whistleblowers suddenly emerged, unveiling the company's pattern of deceit. Ramesh Sunny Balwani, the company's president and Holmes' former romantic partner. Well, what's a good story without a hint of romance? Was embroiled in the scandal alongside her. Employees spoke of their fear-driven culture, where dissent was stifled and truth was a rare commodity. The board, filled with illustrious names like former Secretaries of State Henry Kissinger and George Shultz, found themselves duped by the very narrative they helped promote. Financially speaking, the fallout was catastrophic. Shareholders, once mesmerized by the allure of disruptive healthcare, found their investments in Theranos vaporized. A valuation of $9 billion was now laughably absurd. Criminal charges soon followed. Holmes and Balwani were indicted on multiple charges, including wire fraud and conspiracy. The duo faced potential jail time, turning the corporate boardroom drama into courtroom drama. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good courtroom saga, especially when there's a dash of deceit, billions at stake, and turtlenecks involved? Theranos' catastrophe cast a shadow over the entire sector, with investors wondering how many more Theranoses lurked in the shadows. Healthcare startups, in particular, faced the brunt. Let's go to reflection, shall we? Holmes' quest for success, for revolution, for a lasting legacy, led her down a treacherous path. The Theranos debacle served as a much-needed reality check. It reminded investors, regulators, and the public that not every shiny object is gold. Due diligence, skepticism, and thorough vetting became the new catchwords. No longer would a compelling pitch and a charismatic CEO be enough. In a strange twist of fate, Holmes inadvertently did the world a favor. Her fall from grace, her descent into infamy, served as a beacon, a warning to others. The healthcare industry became more stringent, more committed to ensuring the safety and accuracy of medical innovations. In conclusion, the story of Theranos is a potent blend of ambition, deception, and redemption. It's a tale of what happens when hubris meets reality, when the allure of success blinds one to ethics. But it's also a story of learning, of growth, of a world that refuses to be duped again. The woman who sold the medical mirage may have fooled us once, but in her deceit, she inadvertently paved the way for a brighter, more vigilant future.